This is Stir. Am I saying that right? Kiros Cleaning Experts?
Yeah, with an accent, I change everything. So,
All right, Kiros Cleaning Experts.
Cleaning Experts, yes.
Okay. Tell me about your history and your background and why you decided to start Kiros.
Yeah, no, thank you for asking that.
Yeah.
It's always fun just to remember how everything has started. So I moved here from Venezuela, and I'm an attorney in Venezuela.
Okay.
Right? I had a boyfriend at the time. He was a baseball player, so we moved here together, type of thing. But I did not speak any English or have any money to start anything. So a friend of mine offered me to start cleaning for him.
Okay.
And after I will say 6 months, I opened Kiros. Everything went fantastic, and now, yeah.
Here you are.
Mm-hmm.
And what year was that?
2016.
2016. So you're 8 years in the business.
Yes.
At what point, somebody asked you to clean here, somebody asked you to clean there. At what point did you realize this isn't like a side hustle, like this is a business?
Yes. I feel like I saw the need for people to get help. You have so many hours on a day.
Yeah.
So you are always trying to, to get, to have leverage of, okay, who can I hire to do this for me?
Yeah.
Or what can I do? So I started working with high-end clients, and I'm like, okay, how can I provide more services to these people and really help them? So 6 months in, I hired my first person, and then just to be able to serve more people and with good quality.
Yeah.
So yeah,
at that point, you realize
6 months, I was
it's a business.
Yeah, and it was pretty good. I feel like when you provide a good service, they were like, Kimberly, you are charging too little. Let's do a little bit more. So I started also knowing my numbers, how can I create the business plan?
Yeah.
Because at that point I was a technician. I was cleaning and doing everything else,
operator.
Right? Operator, yes. And afterwards was like, okay, how can I make it to operate in a way that eventually I will step out, but I still provide a good service?
Yeah.
That took a while. That took 3 years for me to be able to do that. But
I mean, that transition from operator to managing, that's a struggle, I think, for every entrepreneur. I know it, myself included, right? So what was that process like for you? Because the context I'll give you is, we like things done, especially when we're operators. We do them a certain way. We've seen that successfully work. So we expect others to do it the exact same way, but that's impossible, right? So what was that process for you becoming a manager versus an operator?
Yes. So that's such a fascinating question because so many things go with that, because I feel like, okay, how good, I think to myself, how good I am.
Yeah.
Can I translate this to these people? How can I bring my value and everything that I do? How can I put this in them? What can I do to for them to have the same drive?
Mm-hmm.
So those questions, I answered all of them. I wrote it down, and then now I can step out. But then the other part is how can I be a good leader? How can I provide value to my people? It's not only they're just workers. We truly want to create an environment, where they feel like they're family, which they are, and that I care about them, because cleaning is, it's a lot of elbow grease. It's rough. Especially, sometimes we get huge houses, properties on a daily basis. They get tired. So, and that's the other part. So, okay, transitioning to becoming a leader, and then just running everything, and then just adding my assistant, systems, and all of that. But now I'm in the last part that is okay, how can I get the business to run 100% without me and still be good? So I'm at 95, I'll say, percent. But it's still just trying to figure out, but it's fun. It's good.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
It's a challenge.
It's a real challenge. Yeah, I mean, you want to make sure that an employee, a team member, feels fulfilled, right, when they come to work. I think ironically, I said this to Adrian, they're never going to love it the way that you love it, right? It's our baby, but you want them to use the talents and the skills that they have and become fulfilled in what they're doing. And it's just a challenge. I think because everybody's different too, you kind of have to, every time you bring somebody on, you have to find a way to make them feel fulfilled. As far as your leadership style, are there resources or books you've read or anything like that you can call on or that you can cite that have helped you along the way?
Yes. Oh my God. Well, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
That's
like
one.
My favorite book ever.
Yeah.
It's great because I feel like every time I have 24 people right now, and all of them are so different. So I try to see like what's a great quality that each of them have. Yeah. So I can like enforce that so they can shine in their own self, right? Yeah. Just like be free and at the same time perform in like at their highest level, let's say. So that book, the 5 a.m. Club from like Robin Sharma.
Oh, I don't know that one.
He's the monk that sold his Ferrari. Like that's the same author.
Okay.
I love him. Like it's more like, okay, how can you implement habits? You know, like how can you have a life living a life with a holistic approach. Yeah. Because you cannot be very successful if you have a lot of money, but you have a cheated relationship, or if your health is not good. Right. So he just like pretty much complements everything. He's like packs everything.
They all tie together a little bit.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And then as far as business, wow, so many. Michael, he wrote the book of like the E-Myth. How do it like it's about small businesses and why they fail and how to get out from like the operations technician towards like moving towards like being the CEO, you know, like only like hands off the business. Yes.
Let it run itself.
Yes.
Okay.
And there are so many. I like metaphysics. Metaphysics?
Yes. I think I've heard of this. Yeah, I think I've heard of this book.
That's definitely more like frequency, energy. And I love that.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So you're big on like habits and routines and stuff like that, it sounds like.
Yes, but it's mainly like within yourself. Mm-hmm. It's like the faith that you have, like knowing and having no doubts that everything that you are doing has a purpose. Yeah. And regardless of what the outside world is telling you, like you feel it in your heart and it will happen. You just trust. It's like that faith.
Have you had, you know, you're 7 years in, have you had people in the outside world say, like, what are you doing? Like, tell me about that.
Yes, because, in Venezuela, I was an attorney. Like, dress up all day, showing up to, like, an office. Yeah. I also have a master, so I was very good there. I mean, although the government is not good in Venezuela, they paid nothing. Okay. But it was you know, like, status, right? Yeah. And then you come to America. I did not speak any English, so that was challenging itself. And then it's like, oh, you're just cleaning, really? Wow. But I'm like, I never saw it like that because I know the service that I like. When you serve from your heart, it doesn't matter what you do. If you do it right, it's good. But it was a little challenging, just like, you know, like really putting off people. They weren't like serving you at that point. And it's not like serving you, like for you to take something from them. It's like if you are not like bringing some, like if you don't have anything good to say, like, so just understanding that it's just a process and everything is temporarily. That's why I always like us to, you know, like faithful and like true to myself.
Yeah, you trick yourself. Yeah, for sure. You know, we were talking about systems and habits and stuff like that. Yeah. And so, you know, one of the things I'm curious about is like, do you have a routine that's beneficial to your business, a personal routine, like maybe a morning routine or an evening routine? I'll give you an example. Like I like to, knock on wood, make it to the gym in the morning. So, you know, things I'll do is like set my clothes out the night before. I'll set my work clothes out the night before. I'll run them by my wife. Hey, does this look dumb? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So, but that helps me in my morning routine. It's like an evening routine, but it helps me in my morning routine so I can get out the door and be productive. You have anything like that?
Yeah, and that's great because I feel like a great day starts the night before. Yeah. So if you don't get ready, if you go to bed like super late and then wake up early, it's like, oh my God, I get to sleep. But so usually as soon as I wake up, I work out. Okay. I do jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I've been a little like, I recently got my real estate license. So I was studying at night and I didn't have time. So for the last month, I haven't been. Yeah. But normally is jiu-jitsu and then get to work. And then I hit the gym at night. But as far as like routines, every day I pray. As soon as I wake up, I pray. Nice. I do like gratitude. And then at night I pray again and then I write down. Like I just like have like a little
Like
diary,
a journal? Yeah.
journal. Yes.
Nice.
And that's pretty much it.
That's interesting. Yeah, I like that. I've never been able to, the discipline of journaling, but I always hear really good things about it. I wish I could implement that.
Yeah. So they say, so the subconscious pretty much is like everything that you think that you can create. So that's like the creation part. But when you actually write it down is when it becomes a reality. So that's like the whole like connection in between like your thoughts and visualizations and everything that you do.
Manifesting and all that.
Exactly.
Sure.
So they say the substance is like when you write it down.
Okay.
That's why I do it. I try to do it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it works. I feel like it worked. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Yeah. And I like a lot of water. I drink a lot of water, like a gallon a day.
A gallon a day?
Yeah.
I'd feel like I was swimming. That's way too much. No, that's really good. Yeah. My wife drinks a lot of water. Even last night, she was like, "You drinking water? You drinking enough?" I'm like, "Not enough. I drink water, but not like I should." You know?
You can add the electrolytes or some. Yeah.
Helps a little bit, I guess.
That.
All right. So 7 years in business.
Yeah.
Looking all the way back to when you started and even to today, can you point to something that, knowing what you know now, you would have done differently?
Oh God. Definitely I would have focused on learning English earlier because I was so busy trying to make money to make a living that I did not hire a coach or a professor or went to school or anything like that because I needed the money, right?
Yeah.
And then I didn't look like, okay, if I learn English, I can make way more than I'm making right now. Right. So just like prioritizing and just like really having a plan. If I want to get here, what do I need to do? I was just like improvising because I just moved here and everything was so new to me. So I just needed to be a little bit more present and then just like really just having a strategy.
How'd you learn English?
Working in restaurants.
Really? So you just taught yourself picking it up?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And then my ex-boyfriend, actually, he's American. So I definitely like polish it a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. You pick it up there.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. All right. All right. Pause. Make sure I want to get all my questions in. Oh yeah. Work-life balance. Okay. Good. Okay. Any questions I'm forgetting? Anything I should throw out? Nope. Yeah, we talked about like why, like her why and stuff like that. But I got one.
Okay.
What for somebody else that was starting a business today, 2024, if you could point to, there's so many things, right? But like if you could point to one thing, one piece of advice to give an aspiring entrepreneur, and I'll take it one further, a female aspiring entrepreneur, what would you tell her?
Definitely to start investing on herself.
Okay.
Or themselves. You will never exceed your own value. Meaning like I cannot ask people to pay or give me something if I'm not worthy. Right. So I feel like just like investing in yourself, like doing seminars and all of that, but at the same time acting. Okay, I have a plan, I have a business plan, or I have an idea. Just like push through, like just start.
Execute,
yes. And definitely like don't think too little. Like think of something that kind of like scares you and then just like drives you. Like, I better perform, like I better do it.
I've got to execute now.
Yes, I have to execute. So just invest in yourself and do it. And don't think too small. Don't think that I'm going to sell a little bracelet, which is fine. But I'm like, think big. How much you want from each client and how can you bring that value? What will they choose you? Like Alex Hormozi says, like, make an offer so amazing and juicy and like they cannot resist. Yes.
Yeah.
So just think of something like that. Definitely.
I like that. I like that one. And I like that, how you mentioned thinking big as far as like, how many customers or what are you going to provide them? I remember in my first year, realizing that this was going to be a business. Like, oh, this is something here, right? And I remember thinking, okay, well, my average ticket, my average sale makes me X. Well, that ain't enough. I want to make this much. Okay, well, how many of these do I have to do to make that? And even like reverse engineering it to the point of, okay, well, every other person I sit down with, I make a sale. But every 6 doors I knock on gets me a person to sit down with. So like thinking big as far as like, oh, this month I got to see 600 people. How the hell am I going to do that? Oh, well, that's X amount per day, kind of breaking that down was beneficial. Like thinking on that scale.
Yeah. How did you decide like the packages? Because when you like, when I saw what you guys do, I'm like, wow, like this is very, it's a comprehensive plan. Yeah. And I was curious.
That's from the market. When I started, all I did was web design. That's 2011. And then I realized that having a pretty website, that's cool, but it doesn't really matter if the phone doesn't ring. So what can we do to make the phone ring? What can we do? And then beyond that, once the phone rings, what can we do to take a lead to a sale? Oh, what can we do to make a sale a repeat customer, right? Like all these different things came from just the market, going out and doing things with clients and be like, oh, well, this is still a void. We're solving this, but here's another void. How do we solve that? And so it just evolved. And I always tell entrepreneurs, like the market will tell you. I had a buddy of mine the other day that was, he was selling he laser engraved like collateral, what are those popular cups that people always Yetis and Stanleys? They're like laser engraved. He's like, this is pretty good. Do you think people would buy it? I said, the market will tell you. You put it out there, the market will answer that question, and it may ask you a new question, right? And that new question, you solve that. Now you got something else. But the market will always tell you.
Yeah, and I feel especially with your business, with like artificial intelligence coming in, I'm like, how can you you have to keep up. You have to constantly be just like.
But I mean, it's with us, it's constantly evolving, and right now it's a hot button, right? Like everybody's kind of talking about it. But I think that's every industry, right? Like your industry as well. Like you have to keep up on the latest trends.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, you started 2017, 2016. So you went through COVID. So there was this whole learning curve of probably doing things that you were already doing, but like, how do I prove that? You had to figure out how to prove that to a customer. That's an evolution. The market is dictating an evolution, and any industry.
Yes, and that comes to like something that is like really good to like stay curious and stay like flexible. It doesn't have to be like this. This is the only way to do the business, because like when something like COVID or anything happens, it's like, okay, are you going to be stubborn or use this as an opportunity for you to grow and like look how many offices, like buildings that have like offices now that are vacant. Why? Because after COVID they saw, okay, I can save money,
work remote,
So looking at something good, probably the only good thing for some businesses that happen.
It's an evolution, and it's in 2016 you would have never thought about office buildings in a growing, bustling city going empty. Because offices, businesses don't need them. That doesn't make sense. Now it makes complete sense. And so I always, that's a good point. And I always think about like, what in 2024, what aren't we thinking about that's going to be big in 2026 and 2027? Who knows?
Who knows?
We don't know what we don't know.
Yes.
Last question.
Yeah.
You're 8 years in. What's the future hold?
Beautiful things. No, I'm kidding. So I'm transitioning to commercial. We're still providing residential services, but we just open a division just fully for commercial. Okay. So it's sort of commercial cleaning, and pretty much just like serving like restaurants, like golf courses. We recently got the contract that I mentioned earlier. It's just like the whole clubhouse, just warehouses, everything like that. So it's definitely just focusing a little bit more on the commercial side. And that's a complete different scheduling. So, like through the night or like after hours, things like that.
Yeah. Because residential, you clean during the day when people are gone at work. Oh, interesting. Okay. Very cool. Beautiful things.
It is a beautiful thing.
All right. Well, I appreciate you sharing your story with us and the time today.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was so nice to talk to you.